Hi there, it's January 1st. Happy New Year. This year we are starting a new version in our Proverbs studies. This is the 17th time through our Proverbs studies. And this month we're going back to the English Standard Version. We did this last January. We do it again. It's a great Bible. I have many copies of it and written well. It goes more towards the word for word, translation. We can actually bring up the form I use here. I'll do it real quick. I'm going to find it. Okay, I'll bring this over here. And this is a comparison chart, and you can see a lot of them, if you look at the bottom here, have gender neutral language, and some of them even make God gender neutral. And you want to stay away from those. Most of the stuff written like that, that was changed after 2010, you want to stay away from those versions because they changed them. Okay, that's not the true word of God. Okay, not close to the NIV, especially. Okay, if you use the NIV, you want to use the NIV that was published before 2000. Okay, the one that I use is a hard copy from 1982. Okay, it was taken over by the same company that publishes the Satanic Bible. They took all gender out of it. Okay, even for God, and it's just they've messed that up. They've done that with the New American Standard. Okay, any of the classic Bibles, you want to keep the old ones in print. If you see them at garage sales or thrift stores, pick them up because they don't print them. They're trying to get them out of circulation. Okay, I think, and if you look at here, word for word, this is exact word for word, not caring about English prose and style, and then it gradually goes over to thought for thought, which they will take and they're real translations, but they change the words into, to make more sense in modern English. And then it goes all the way to paraphrase, which is not a word for word at all. You see the ESV is right about here. That's right, on the cusp of word for word, thought for thought. And you can see the only notes on it is that the Apocrypha is available or included with it. Okay. But a lot of these, if you look at these little, like the up arrow, New Revised Standard Version, gender neutral language. Okay. That's not a direct translation. If he says men do this, men do this, it doesn't mean everybody. It means men. Okay. And it's just lots of different stuff like that. So this is the one we use, and you can see we're going to ESV. So. And we're using the ESV today. So, which, and like I said, I used this for many years. So, and we're also going to have I keep the Geneva Bible over here. I've come to depend on the 1599 Geneva Bible because the notes that they included with it are just amazing. They included the footnotes from 1599 in the editions, and it's an amazing Bible. This is the one that our forefathers came over with on the Mayflower, okay? And the reason they left England is because King James published a Catholic Bible. And I have the King James, I've read the King James. I don't really like it because I'm not Catholic, and it's a Catholic Bible. King James outlawed this Bible, okay? Because he changed some things in it. And we're just going to leave that there, but I like to keep this open just for the notes and stuff. So let's begin. And we know the first 7 or 8 chapters is all preparation. Okay, preparation for the Proverbs, and the actual Proverbs start in about chapter 9. So let's do our preparation for Proverbs chapter 1. All right. The Proverbs of Solomon, son of David, king of Israel. To know wisdom and instruction, to understand words of insight, to receive instruction in wise dealing, in righteousness, justice, and equity, to give prudence to the simple, knowledge and discretion to the youth, Let the wise hear and increase in learning, and let the one who understands obtain guidance. To understand a proverb and a saying, the words of the wise and their riddles. Right? You get all that stuff. Okay, and look at all these notes over here. Okay. To know wisdom and instruction, that is, we ought to know and follow of what we ought to refuse, right? What to listen to and what not to listen to. That's important. Mm-hmm. All right. To understand the words of knowledge in verse 2, meaning the word of God, wherein is the only true knowledge. You get that? Word of God is the only true knowledge. And you look at all these notes. To receive instruction and to do wisely, to learn to submit ourselves to the correction of those that are wise. Right? And by justice and by living justly and rendering to every man that which pertaineth unto him. To give simple sharpness of wit. I like that. To such as have no direction to rule themselves. Right? Wise man, understanding. Oh, look at that. He showeth that these parables containing the effect of religion as touching manners and doctrine to appertain to the simple people, so doth he declare that the same is also necessary for them that are wise and learned. Right? Never stop learning. Right? All the notes and anything you're confused about, we can look at the notes and it's usually straightens it out. So that's a great. Okay. Verse 7 is highlighted. Right? The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. Fools despise wisdom and instruction. Okay. How do you get wisdom? Okay. Now we always go. No, we'll open a different. We'll open another version here. We're going to go to James in the first. Okay, this is James in the New Testament. How do you get wisdom? We know the first step is to fear the Lord, to follow the Lord, right? And it starts in 5 through 8, okay? In James, if any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God, who gives generously to all without reproach, and it will be given him. Right? That's how you get wisdom. You ask for it. Just that simple. And God will give it to you, right? But, caveat here, but let him ask in faith with no doubting. For the one who doubts is like a wave of the sea that is driven and tossed by the wind. For that person must not suppose that he will receive anything from the Lord. He is a double-minded man, unstable in all his ways, right? So how do you get wisdom? You ask God for it, and he will give it to you, but you cannot doubt. There's no hope involved. I hope I get wisdom. No, I will get wisdom. I ask God for wisdom, and he will give me wisdom, right? Be sure of that. So, a little side note for verse 7. How do you get wisdom? It's in James chapter 5. Hey, fear of the Lord is the first step, right? Fear the Lord, trust the Lord, ask for wisdom, and he'll give it to you. Okay. The enticement of sinners. Different section, a new paragraph over here. Hear, my son, your father's instruction, and forsake not your mother's teaching, for they are a graceful garland for your head and pendants for your neck. Yeah, this part's highlighted. My son, if sinners entice you, do not consent. If they say, come with us, let us lie in wait for blood. Let us ambush the innocent without reason. Like Sheol, let us swallow them alive and whole, like those who go down to the pit. We shall find all precious goods. We shall fill our houses with plunder. Throw in your lot among us. We will all have one purse. All right. Do that? No. My son, do not walk in the way with them. Hold back your foot from their paths, for their feet run to evil, and they make haste to shed blood. All right. For in vain is a net spread in the sight of any bird. I like that. Right. If you know the trap of all this, You won't go into it. They always get in trouble. They always end up in prison. They always end up, if they don't kill somebody else, they all end up killing each other usually. Stay away from those kind of people. 18. But these men lie in wait for their own blood. They sit in ambush for their own lives. Such are the ways of everyone who is greedy for unjust gain. It takes away the life of its possessors. Right? That's what I just said. I could have just read this instead of saying that, right? Right. The call of wisdom. Now, Solomon likens wisdom to a female. I don't know why. Okay. Solomon liked female. He had 700 wives. Jesus is wisdom, okay? And wisdom is Jesus, okay? It is said in the Bible, Solomon is the wisest man who ever lived. And you say, what about Jesus? Wasn't he wiser than Solomon? Jesus was wisdom, okay? The wisdom they talk about here is Jesus, okay? And everywhere where he talks about wisdom, she raises her voice in the streets. Think Jesus in your mind, okay? Because Jesus was wisdom personified. Okay? So, and this is a parable, of course, okay? Wisdom cries aloud in the street. In the market, she raises her voice. At the head of the noisy street, she cries out. At the entrance of the city gate, she speaks. How long, O simple ones, will you love being simple? How long will scoffers delight in their scoffing, and fools hate knowledge? If you turn at my reproof, behold, I will pour out my spirit to you. Jesus, spirit. You got that? I will make my words known to you, because I have called you, and you refuse to listen. I have stretched out my hand, and no one has heeded, because you have ignored all my counsel and wouldn't have none of my reproof. I will also laugh at your calamity. I will mock when terror strikes you. When terror strikes you like a storm. Not if, when, right? And your calamity comes like a whirlwind, when distress and anguish come upon you. Then they will call upon me, but I will not answer. They will seek me diligently, but will not find me, because they hated knowledge and did not choose to fear the Lord, would have none of my counsel and despise all my reproof. Right? Therefore they shall eat the fruit of their way and have their fill of their own devices. Right? For the simple are killed by their turning away, and the complacency of fools destroys them. But whoever listens to me will dwell secure, will be at ease without dread of disaster. That sound like Jesus? That sounds like Jesus. So there you go. That's chapter 1. Okay. Usually we go over the highlights, but this is just, the whole thing is like in preparation for the Proverbs. Okay. First section. What it is, how to find it, right? How to get wisdom. We went over that in James chapter 5, right? All right, it's open right here. If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God, who gives generously to all without reproach, and it will be given him, right? But let him ask in faith with no doubting, for the one who doubts is like a wave on the sea that is driven and tossed by the wind. That person must not suppose that he will get anything. The same with all prayers. You must ask in faith and not doubt that the prayer will be answered. Right? Wisdom is no different. Right? The enticement of sinners. This whole section describes the gangs of today, the gangs and the robbers and the terrorists, and throw your lot in with us, and right? But these men lie in wait for their own blood. They set an ambush for their own lives. Such are the ways of everyone who is greedy for unjust gain. It takes away the life of its possessors. Right? Stay away from those people. Okay? And it talked about the call of wisdom. And that wisdom is Jesus. Jesus is wisdom personified. Jesus was the Word. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Right? Jesus is wisdom. These words are Jesus, right? Wisdom cries aloud in the street. In the market, she raises her voice. She's calling out. And the people that don't listen and don't answer the call, right? Therefore, they shall eat the fruit of their own way and have their fill of their own devices. Many times God has said he has given people over to their own devices. Right? The simple are killed by turning away, and the complacency of fools destroys them. All right, complacency. Let's look that up. Feeling of self-contented satisfaction. Complacency is a feeling of self-contented satisfaction, often while unaware of some potential danger or the like. Right? Complacency. Think you're good enough. You can't teach me anything. I know it all. That will destroy you, right? Whoever listens to me will dwell secure and will be at ease without dread of disaster. Jesus. Okay? Listen to Jesus. So, there you go. That's day 1 again of our Proverbs, 17th time through Proverbs of 24. And we may continue after that, but we'll continue this, right? I never get tired of reading Proverbs. I will continue to make these, as long as I can, until all of it is committed to memory. Okay? And then will I be all wise? No, you can never be all wise. Okay? Just read it in chapter 30 just a few days ago. Right? Part of being wise is to find out how stupid you really are. Right? So, there you go. Okay. Stay tuned later today. We are starting through the Bible in 1 year. We are doing through the New Testament in 1 year. Okay? And through this last year, through the Bible, it went through the New Testament in 3 months. Okay? We're going to go through the New Testament, take an entire year to go through the New Testament. And we're going to use mini translation. I'm going to have 3 or 4 open at once. Because it does just a chapter a day, and we can tear apart a single chapter and spend time on it and read it in 3 or 4 different translations, right, and get the whole picture of it. So that's going to be fun. We're going to take some time, a whole entire year to do the New Testament. That'll be fun. I did this in 2023. Okay, I went to the New Testament on my own chronologically in the order that the books were actually written. And it took most of the year. And that was a lot of fun. I want to do it again. I remember at the end of that, I felt so close to Jesus. And I realized what the most important thing in life is, and it is Jesus. Okay? So we're going to do it again. Stay tuned later for that. We're beginning on that, day 1. So for January 1st. But until later, keep studying. See ya.